not under. Yes. Yeah, I can see it now.
I'm going to step away for a minute.
It's not going to go in any further.
So you'll have to feed that over.
Okay.
So ham is kind of a nickname for amateur radio operators, right? And it comes from the early days of telegraph, of actual railroad telegraph, where if a telegraph operator was kind of long-winded, like I am when I talk, right, they were called a ham in Morse code.
Got it.
Each year in June, amateur radio operators gather throughout North America, including locally, to practice their abilities to transmit and receive emergency information.
Oh, okay. Never.
On June 26, in a dusty wine vineyard outside of Lodi, California, a motley crew from the Stockton Delta Amateur Radio Club, W6SF, has gathered to erect some radio antenna towers.
This antenna is called a hex beam. It is 2 elements on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different bands.
You get this one.
The different bands are just like different musical instruments. The size makes a difference of how that resonates, just like a musical instrument. And just as in music, the low frequencies travel through the walls of your house and the high frequencies don't. Same thing with radio. The shorter frequencies go straight, and they're local communications like we might use at a walkathon or a bikeathon for communications, as compared to the low frequencies that travel worldwide and cover the earth.
There'll be several different types of antennas being raised this weekend for Field Day. This one's called a hex beam, and sometimes the ham operators can even get tangled up in their own web.
If you look at a standard spider web, it's the Mother Nature, and you look at the numbers, the sizes of spider web and the spacing, it all comes out to be the same thing.
First, it's an opportunity for amateur radio operators to test their ability to set up in the field, communicate across short and long distances. And then second, it's an opportunity to showcase what amateur radio can do for agencies like police, fire, emergency management, as well as what amateur radio offers the general public. Field Day is structured kind of like a contest, and clubs earn points for various things. How many stations they can set up, how many contacts they make, which is actually a small percentage of the points.
So you never know where an emergency is going to arise. It could be anywhere. And it could be that a part of this emergency, a person who needs to have a way to communicate outside, could be in a difficult to get to location. And there's a high probability that some ham radio operator is going to be nearby. And that person is an independent operator. They don't have a fixed radio, they don't have a fixed antenna system. So they can do what is needed to be able to communicate that next hop to someone else who can take the message on to the next place and the next place and make sure that we actually get communication. If you look at what happened in Puerto Rico, when they had the hurricanes down there, everything was taken down. There was no infrastructure left, not even power. And the hams were the only ones that were able to operate in those conditions.
Whiskey 6, Sierra Foxtrot.
We need to train younger people to get into the hobby and learn the art of communication so that they can grow with the hobby and know what they're doing when it comes time for communication.
Okay, we copy that. We are a 6 Alpha, San Joaquin Valley.
Operators work making contacts throughout the daytime hours, into the night, and early morning hours.
I copy 1 Delta, Bravo Charlie.
Resting when they can, operating on multiple bands, searching for stations near and far until the final hour.
QSL 73, my friend, and good luck.
For Soundings Magazine, Michael Cockwood.